Hey everyone, it's Tracy here, and today I'm going to be making a shaker card using my Cricut and some Coordinations cardstock. So I cut out this image, the pot of gold image from the Simply Charmed Cricut cartridge. I cut it at 3 inches tall, and now I have some Coordinations papers. I cut the strips, just different colored rainbow images. And I'm also going to be using my Spellbinders dies. This part is for the shaker card. So I already have the circle from a piece of foam. So I just need to cut it a little bit smaller to create the part I need for the shaker card. So I just picked the size smaller than what my foam is. And I'm just running that through my Cuttlebug. Okay, and then the ring part is the part that I need for this card, so you can save the center or throw it away, whichever you like. And then I'm also cutting the circle through some acetate and a piece of black Coordinations cardstock. You need those to be the same size. And it actually works to cut the cardstock at the same time as the acetate, because since the acetate is so thin, it doesn't always like to cut, so you might need a shim if you do decide to do it separately. So now I'm applying my Tombow Mono Multi-Glue along the outer edge of the ring. This is simply because if you get it towards the center and you put your sequins in, they're all going to stick to the edge and you're not really going to have a shaker card because it's not going to move anywhere. But you can let it dry completely if you would like. I still like to do it towards the outer edge just because even when the glue is dry, it's still a little bit sticky, so your sequins might still stick. And then I have some gold sequins, and I'm just going to dump a bunch of those right into the center of that. And then I'm going to apply some more glue to the outer edge of the top of the foam ring. And apply my acetate onto the top of that. And now you can set this part aside and let it dry completely, because we'll need it later in the card, but not right now. Okay, so moving on, I have my piece of gray cardstock. Actually, first I'm going to apply or attach all of the images that I cut from my Cricut together. So just the gold pieces and then the black pot part. Okay, and then since this is going to be the shaker part of my card, I will need to cut a circle out of that. But first I'm going to make the back of my card because I'll also need to cut a circle out of this at the same time. So I just have the different pieces of Coordinations cardstock, and I'm just applying it to the one end. You can see I'm not pushing it down because I want it to be centered, so after I get all of them adhered, I end up moving them down just a little bit. So it helped that I didn't actually attach them all together at first. And I'm just applying them all right next to each other. There's no spaces in between each color. Okay, and then just make sure that it's all even on the other side. So I had to trim a little bit off just so that it was all even. And I'm going to take the stars embossing folder from Doris. And eventually I'm going to be embossing the rainbow part. So now that I have my Cuttlebug out, I will be doing all of the cutting and embossing that I need. I'm going to start by cutting the circle out of the center of my pot of gold. And then I just ran it through a couple times to make sure, since there's more than one layer there, just to make sure that it cut it out. So now you can see our circle in there. And then I took the pot and I'm going to line it up right with my on the rainbow part, so that I can make sure I get my circle where I want it to go, so that it's centered on the card. And I'm just going to adhere that down while I run it through my Cuttlebug so it doesn't move on me. Okay, and you can see it ripped a little bit from my tape. If you use washi tape, that might not happen, but for this card it doesn't particularly matter because I'm going to be embossing and sanding on the front, so you won't notice it in the end. So as you can see, now I am embossing the stars background, and it went through very hard because it's so thick with the multiple layers of cardstock, so just be really careful when you're embossing that. Okay, and after it's embossed, I'm taking the Sand It gadget and Dust Buddy and just sanding over the embossed part, so you can definitely see those stars show through. Okay, and now I can adhere the pot of gold down to the rainbow background. And for that I'm using the Tombow Mono Multi Glue. I just like this glue because it holds really well, and you're going to want something on there that is going to hold your piece down. Okay, so next I'm going to attach the shaker part of it, and I got some glue on the front on the acetate part, and I tried using that to get it off, and I got it for the most part, but in the end I actually ended up using some Goo Gone just to get it off, and it came off just fine. But if that happened, you could also do that, or you could just start with a new piece of acetate and just put it over the top. And I'm going to apply some glue to the back of that and then attach it onto the shaker part. And make sure it's really glued down and stuck before you flip it over. So I'm just going to wait a few minutes, and first I'm going to stamp the sentiment onto the inside of my card base. This is from Paper Smooches, and it says, "I wish you a magical day." Okay, and now I can apply that to the front, and you're going to want to attach it with foam squares because of the foam in the middle. Otherwise it's going to be weird on the edges if you just use regular adhesive. And attach that to the card front. And then I'm going to take some gold stickles and just apply them onto the gold on the top of the die cut image. Alright, and there is our completed shaker card. Thanks for watching. Bye.